Interim Budget 2024-25, or should I call it election manifesto?
Yeah, it sounds more like an election manifesto actually.
Yeah.
Both Nirmala Sitharaman's speech and the announcements in the budget, I think it's being made, it's being done with elections in the mind, that there is going to be an election, and this is the last budget that this government will be presenting before the election. So yeah.
Yeah. The way she began her speech also
Huh.
was by directly attacking the opposition. She
Opposition.
calls her government like secularism in action.
Yeah, nepotism.
Against, yeah.
And more
Brings up
importantly,
nepotism.
social justice. I thought that was very interesting
Mhm.
because we, in Tamil Nadu at least, we've always kind of spoken about social justice repeatedly, and we've used the social justice to highlight that Tamil Nadu is different from the rest of the country in terms of growth, in terms of education, whatever. You've used the social justice as to kind of highlight why we are different from the rest of the country. So I thought the word that she used in this context, especially just before the elections in the budget, perhaps had a very election-oriented motive. That's how I should call it. And she says it was a political slogan for others, and for us it is what a development
Models. she calls it.
Governance model. For genuine governance model. So yeah, that was also very interesting. Also in the context of the fact that Rahul Gandhi is speaking against social justice, speaking about social justice a lot these days. So I think this is very pointed. Nirmala Sitharaman, the Finance Minister, the BJP government actually wanted to make a point about their brand of social justice. I don't know if we should still call it social justice because they do, but their brand, and even the chief, even the Prime Minister has said it's Viksit Bharat budget.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yes.
So whether it does really promise development in 2047, we need to wait for more details.
I would like to focus on how the speech was structured. She clearly lists the schemes that the Modi government has carried out in the last 10 years. She doesn't fail to market the schemes that the government has implemented, and she interestingly categorizes just pretty obvious and pretty clear. The way she categorized she mentioned it as four castes.
Forecast.
Forecast. Interesting choice of word being used there. The poor, women, youth, and farmers.
Yes.
And she went on to list everything that the government has done for these four categories of people. What do you think about that?
See, I have my own doubts, Aswin. Basically, we know that what the kind of protest that the farmers had done in Delhi, their march, and how the government was forced to kind of withdraw the farm laws just before the elections. So that is a very important point. So this election, I think, they really wanted to focus. It's obvious that they see the farmers as a major vote bank. Otherwise, they wouldn't have withdrawn the farm laws. So, I'm not surprised that they have put these four as focus areas, as areas to be focused. But what surprises me more is there is actually nothing there. There is no major concrete announcements. They have made some small announcements. I don't know, for example, she speaks about the youth. But joblessness is a huge problem. The parliament attack some months back was also because of the joblessness. So I think we need to also think about those issues. I don't think she mentioned unemployment in her speech.
The word was not at all mentioned in her speech.
Yeah, but there are data. There is data by Center for Monitoring India, which says that unemployment is growing in India. I'll just read a small portion from it. It says, in the October-December 2023 quarter, joblessness among those in the age group of 20 to 24 grew to 44.49% from 43.65 in the previous quarter of July to September 2023. On the other hand, it stood at 14.33% for the age group of 25 to 29 compared to 13.35% in the July-September quarter. The 14.33% joblessness rate for the 25-29 group was 14 quarter high. So, it's very evident from the data that unemployment is high. She speaks about the youth. The government seems concerned about the youth, but there are no concrete, I don't know, she says she will create job opportunities, but How do you think that will happen?
Like she says, like she's promised 55
55
lakh
lakh,
job opportunities for youth, but does it really fulfill the needs of those unemployed? That's a question to be answered. And another question to be raised is that the government promises loans to youth, like business loans for youth, but if the youth cannot be employed in the first place, how does the government expect them to become entrepreneurs overnight? That's a question I have in mind.
Yeah,
like
they
if I have to
also-
start a business, I'll have to be well informed about the field. I should have worked. I should have gathered some experience. So how does giving loan to youth solve the unemployment? That's a
One
question mark.
yeah.
It doesn't solve the.
I mean, there is
problem,
one
in my opinion.
place where she says that the youth will be trained. They will be given skill training, But I think we actually need more details. Last time when they spoke about Vishwakarma project, I understood it as something like Kulakal Vichitam, where you learn what your ancestors were doing, and that is a very limited thing to do, and that doesn't actually speak of development. Especially if people want to, access education and other such opportunities, you can't be doing what your forefathers were doing and expect to earn from it. So that is a problem area for me. So I really wanted to know what does she mean by skill training to the youth. What kind of training are they going to
Right.
give?
And another interesting claim in the speech was about the medals being won by India in sports, and she made a special mention of Pragnananda
Yeah.
and the number of chess grandmasters that India is producing. I, I have a different perspective to that because they speak about medal tally, but the reality is that we all know what happened to the Wrestling Federation and
Yeah,
Bridge
yeah.
thing. It's
People who actually got us
ironic.
Olympic medals, who actually got us some international medals,
Yes.
they were forced to throw their medals away. They were forced to retire because this government was
Yes.
consistently supporting.
Bridge Bhushan Singh. So
Yeah.
it's really ironic that she makes a mention of the number of medals being won.
Yeah.
I think the medals have been returned to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one.
They even
thing.
announced their retirement because it was. It was very. They can't obviously continue because they put up such a strong spirited fight against this person, and he makes a backdoor entry. One of his supporters
Yeah.
is again made a
Right.
president. So I think it. So when you speak about the country's sports talent, you should also acknowledge the fact that there are people who have won medals, who have genuine grievances, and that has not been addressed by this government. So that
Right.
also needs to be mentioned in this context.
Let's talk about women-centric development. They promised to increase the target of Lakpati Didi to 3 crore from the existing 2 crore, and also the Finance Minister doesn't fail to make a mention of removing triple talaq. And
Yeah.
so yes, clearly even Prime Minister Modi made a mention of Lakpati Didi in his Independence Day speech and all that. So it's pretty clear who they're trying to please.
Yeah.
And so yeah, what do you?
Yeah, I think they are. As we already discussed, I think they see these 4 groups as vote banks more than as caste, as Nirmala Sitharaman mentioned. As far as women development is concerned, this 2013 budget, I think the previous government, the Congress government, had announced Nirbhaya Fund immediately after the Nirbhaya incident. But
Right.
recent reports suggest that the fund is underutilized. When you have something called Nirbhaya Fund, which is aimed at making women, protecting the dignity and safety of women, and that is not delivered. And the crimes against women have not come down, as far as I know. I don't have real-time data in my hand, but I know that crimes against women is not come down. So the fact that women are, and as you said, the women wrestlers who got us Olympic medals, they've not been treated with dignity. They've not been treated in fairness. The fact that women continue to face, crimes, and what happened in the BJP ruled states, whenever there is a violence against women, how it is being handled by the media, how it is being handled by the government and other things. So basically, I just wanted to say the government, if it really wants to, if it claims that it's not seeing these women as vote banks, they should actually walk the talk and make sure that these things are addressed. That the violence against women, the crimes against women, especially in the BJP ruled states, where where they enjoy the impunity, that is being addressed, and Nirbhaya Fund should be put into proper use. And the government should see that these things come down, that the crimes against women is come down and women's dignity is protected at any cost. And if And even if they are sportswomen, women who brought us medals, their dignity should be protected. Their their grievances should be addressed. I think if this government is serious about what it talks, I think they need to do all these things first.
Outreach is the word. They've clearly tried to reach out to various sections of people through this interim budget, and the way I see it, this budget is more of a continuation of what was done the last year and the years before. They're clearly trying to carry on in the path that they have established so far. So let's see how it goes. This is the final budget for this government officially, and if they come back to power, it remains to be seen if they carry on in this path. Until then, it's election time.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.